Coming to you live from
Survivor Specialist. Phil and Alexa are back. Bradley's trying to do the Rob Has podcast and intro here. We are live with Bradley Kleihege.
Oh boy.
Bradley Kleihege. He gave me a whole coaching thing before we actually went live.
Yeah, and you still failed. You're uncoachable.
Yeah, but we got it. We're there. Bradley's with us for our first predictions and power rankings episode of Survivor 38. So you get to do the longest episode. I mean, that's got to be good for the ego, right?
I mean, yeah, good for the ego, bad for the memory, because I have to remember all of these people.
Yeah.
Which I guess we're going to have to remember them all season because they just don't go away.
That's a perfect.
Just go somewhere else.
That's a perfect way to intro this. How long do you think that people are going to last on this island? And you would have probably done it, right? Because you were just before the merge. You would have hung out.
Yes, I feel like I was made for Extinction Island, Edge of Extinction, whatever the season's called. Because you can be on the island and there's no threat of getting voted out by those knuckleheads. I mean, it'd be great.
So while everybody's saying that they think it's Joe Anglim who this season was made for, it was actually you who this season was made for?
Yeah, I mean, it was made for me in a different way than it was made for Joe. But yeah, it's good for the people that everyone else wants to vote out.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great, though. You can annoy these people until they just lose their minds. And what can they do? The only thing they can do is they can leave.
Mm-hmm.
They can't make you leave. It's perfect.
How do you think you would do if it was just you and Reem hanging out on Extinction Island?
Oh, God, I love Reem. No, I think I would have done okay. I think the hardest part with Ghost Island, not to bring that season back up, but
great transition,
is that everyone was 12 years old. So I think in general older people would have been better for my game. But Reem seems like she's fun.
How much fun would it have been though, considering you ruined Brendan, Stephanie Johnson, and you kind of had a hand in James, not really, but whatever. And then you show up there and they're just sitting there waiting for you. Like, how would that have been? Do you think that would have been more fun or less fun than the Australia, wherever you guys go trip?
I mean, I was going to say it probably would have been exactly the same as going to Australia. Everyone just would have got to see it. Fun and gets old at times. I don't know. Yeah, I think it'd be a blast. I think this theme is pretty cool, frankly. Even though I know it's the cool thing to do to hate it. I think it's neat.
Go with the grain here.
You might be the first person ever to say that you actually think it's cool. Everybody else has just crapped on it nonstop. And unfortunately, I've kind of come around to it. And I like the way the first episode ended.
I mean, I think it's cool. I think you have a problem where I don't know if I have enough faith in the editors to not start just focusing on Edge of Extinction if all the big characters end up there. And I think that might be a problem down the road. What happens if you lose all these people that give a good confessional, that are interesting? What happens when they're all there? Do we stop focusing on the actual game because nothing's happening? I think you can run into some problems and it could end up being terrible or it could end up being brilliant. But from like a playing the game standpoint, I think it's really cool. I would love to have had that when I was out there.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you say with the editors, because now we're seeing in the preview for this week that they're claiming that there's going to be like a hunt for these a hunt on the returning players. And if that's the case, if David or Kelly Wentworth or Joe Anglim or Aubrey end up going to Extinction Island is going to be a big part of episode 3 because one of the 4 people they deemed worthy to bring back is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the cynic in me says that that's why you bring people back, because they're bankable for now. I don't know how long until you get back in the game or whatever, but at least for a while. I mean, you're not going to lose anybody, which is great, and it could actually make the game better because then there's no incentive, for people to root for others in the game, because then they're not gone. It's great in a way. It could be terrible. I think it all just depends on how it's edited because, having been out there, there's so much footage, there's so much that happens that never makes the episode. So it's hard to know, exactly. A lot of it's an editing choice is what I think makes a good season versus a not as good season. I think that's the bulk of it.
Supposedly we were cheated of Rick Devens calling himself the War Dog also after.
I know.
War Dog. So that just tells you how much great material there is that we're just not getting.
Yeah, but I think that's an inexcusable
that's too good to know.
Lapse. Yeah, oh my God, it's hilarious. But at the same time, though, something that's interesting is if I had to guess just based on people's edits from the first episode, I think we're headed for having. Sorry, I don't know their names very well. Rick, Devins, the one who called himself the War Dog. I think we're headed for him to not be this bright, cheery character.
Mhm.
And so I think if you show him joking and being kind of silly, maybe that's not going to fit with where they're headed with him. That's my only hunch, because I think that line is hilarious. I mean, it's really, really good.
Well, he's
Why
doing
else leave it out?
he's doing the like Kool-Aid Man, oh yeah thing. So they're giving him that goofy content. But I remember when what was it, Reem, Wendy, and Keith were out swimming. It was Rick who was like, "Yeah, so we're gonna vote
Yeah.
Wendy out." Like that was him. So yeah, he
Yep.
that.
Yeah, and also if this was an hour and a half episode, that definitely makes the cut. But being that it was just an hour episode
Yeah.
for a premiere, and you have to introduce 4 new players, and you have to introduce the Edge of Extinction twist, and like
Yep.
there's a lot going on in that 42, 43 minutes, whatever we got. We needed more time. We needed a full hour and a half premiere to
I
really.
think it was a pretty good introduction for everything they had to cram in there. I thought it was good. I could follow it. And so that made it good. But yeah, I totally agree with you. 90 minutes. I mean, I think you could have every Survivor episode ideally would be 90 minutes.
Yeah.
There's just too much to fit in, and that's the problem that I worry about with this season is if you have kind of the same thing as Ghost Island, where there's this additional element beyond reward, immunity, and tribal council. Where's the screen time coming for that? And so are we going to not know people again? I mean, are we never going to find out about Julia? Right? She didn't have anything in the first episode. I mean, are we looking at Chelsea? The purple edit? I mean, because decisions like that unfortunately have to get made when there's so many more architectural bits to the game, that they have to cover.
Yeah, and I think in an hour and a half episode, we would have seen everybody get a confessional, because they almost did it. They pulled off 16 out of 18, which I thought was pretty impressive. The only ones we didn't get were Chris and Julia, and we at least got Chris saying something at Tribal Council. We really didn't get anything from Julia except for when the 4 people pulled up. I think she was really excited about Aubrey, right? So we had a little bit from her, but not we didn't get an actual confessional from her. And I think that had they had the extra time, she's definitely going to end up making the cut. But we can sit here and we can nitpick it all they want. I mean, this isn't Survivor's fault. This is CBS's fault. CBS said you only get an hour. Survivor would have obviously loved to have an hour and a half. Jeff
yes, absolutely. That's the funny thing about Jeff tweeting about it is it's not Jeff's decision. CBS tells them how long they have. They can beg for 2 hours, and they have absolutely zero say in that.
Yeah.
What was the show that they was premiering after that?
Oh God, it's the new Mark Burnett show, which is fascinating that they no longer put Mark Burnett's name on the advertising, because of course he's not as popular now that he's tied to the president.
There you go.
So I think it's kind of fascinating, because it used to be a selling point. It used to be, Mark Burnett, executive producer, new TV show. Come watch it. Everyone's going to tune in because he's really great. And now it's people aren't going to watch because he's ruining our country.
Isn't that interesting though? How things change.
Yeah. That's Hollywood.
But yeah, exactly. And by the way, tonight are the Oscars. So if you really want to see how things change, go watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure they'll be riveting.
They'll be riveting, dude. I can't wait. That's what I live for. I love that stuff. I love laughing at it.
Oh yeah. This is why we're here inside podcasting on a nice day, because you have to go to a party.
That's exactly what it is. But
I just remembered this.
I will say I ran this morning. I was outside, so I got to enjoy my nice day, Bradley.
Just don't forget, Phil, you got to rehydrate before you dehydrate.
That's true.
So you better drink some water.
I haven't had water, so I'm ready to go.
Well, I've had 12 margaritas since 48 hours ago. So
that's not bad. That's
National Margarita Day on Friday.
I know. I brought margaritas into the office and they were gone by lunchtime.
Well,
so, at any rate.
Anyway, so what I'm going to say here is, if you would like to participate in this game with Alexa, and whatever Survivor we have coming on in the future, which we have a lineup of, I think, 5 right now, and we're still working on getting dates for everybody else.
Yeah,
and what was that, Alexa?
I said that was a good humble brag. I liked that.
Yeah, we're on our way, and maybe somebody will bail, but you guys have to fill the shoes of
I
Bradley.
mean, I think I speak for everyone that we are most excited for Jessica Lewis when she comes on in a few weeks because she is peak entertainment.
Why are you doing this to me, Bradley? Why are you doing this? But anyway, if you would like to play with us, you can participate in the Power Rankings game if you're a $20 patron. So get us the Power Rankings by Tuesdays. I think we've gotten 4 or 5 of them, and I think we're supposed to have 14. So the other 9 or 10 of you, find us and send us your Power Rankings somehow. It can be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email. I think we put our email on there. You could just do it on Patreon. I mean, I did go and check, and we'll check tomorrow, and we'll check on Tuesday. So you can do all of that, and you can compete against a hodgepodge of survivors that are obviously all going to have different takes. And I can already tell that Bradley's probably going to be the guy who puts the people he hates at the bottom, even if they're in great shape. So probably don't use that strategy if you want to win. But hey.
Not always about winning, Phil.
Hey, so I did see that Gabby was competing against Gordon Holmes, and I hope she does the Survivor community proud because Bradley got smoked last year. So,
yeah, I did totally.
All right, Alexa, because I've been hogging the airtime talking to Bradley, why don't you start us off with your number 1? Who's in your top spot going into week 2?
All right, I am going to surprise nobody, and I'm going to put Ron at number 1. I think that's pretty obvious. I assume that you guys are also doing that. I have pretty much the entire Kama tribe in the top half. I don't think they're going anywhere. Ron's in a really good place. Everyone was super down on him going into this, but he's like a total goofball, and he's got this like restaurant week menu of stuff, and I don't even think he's gonna need it. Like I don't think they're going to tribal council whatsoever. Every single preview we've seen is focusing on like Wendy, so I can't imagine that Kama's gonna even get a ton of airtime this week. But Ron's in the best spot. I don't really know if he has any allies, so that's the only thing that makes me a little wary, but I can't imagine he's going to go home because if they go to tribal council, he's just going to use the individual immunity.
I will say that I agree with you on this Kama thing, and I want to hear what Bradley's take on the menu is, because if you were to receive that, I said the only one I would ever use was the hidden immunity idol, but you played. So what did you think about this menu that Ron got?
I mean, as a player, I think the menu is great. As a viewer, I don't know. It gives you too many options, I think.
Would you ever use any of them other than the immunity idol?
Would you like to remind me what the other choices
exactly.
were?
So one of them was you could steal the reward.
Yes, okay, steal the reward.
And then it was it steal a vote or extra vote? It was one of those two. I forget.
Yeah, you're right.
Would you use it?
No.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
No, you just save yourself.
Steal a reward from someone you're going to be tribe mates with in 2 votes.
Yeah, that's no good at all. I mean, I although I will say maybe I would have stolen a Malolo reward if they had finally won one. It would be like, yeah, I'm going to take this back.
I could see
that could be entertaining. Maybe I actually would do that.
I could see you winning with those Malolos who you're just picking off one by one and saying, I'm actually going to use my reward steal and give this reward to the other.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, I guess I would maybe use 2 of the 3. Realistically, probably just the immunity idol.
Yeah, I guess if you're trying to win the game, you're going to use the immunity idol. If you're trying to just make good TV, you could use the reward. I think Ron's going to try to win the game. I don't think he'll use it.
It could be argued that making good TV is more lucrative than winning the game. But
Sure. Hey, Joe Anglim, I guess, made good TV. He's playing.
Yeah. How many times have all these people been on? Yeah.
Exactly.
Everybody.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say I got Joe at number 1 because if they're gonna hunt down, see, this is what I'm saying. Bradley's gonna have Joe
at number 2. I'm with you, Phil.
I can't wait for Bradley to have Joe at like 17 because he's just like.
Well, here's what's interesting about it. Okay, so I haven't met any of the new people, but and I haven't met Kelly, but the other 3 returning people are friends of mine. So it's the first time where I'm watching people that I knew before they played. Play the game, which is kind of an interesting new thing. So it sometimes you have to separate what do you think about them in real life with how they're doing in the game.
And you think that Joe's tribe would vote Joe out
Right
at
now.
this tribal council?
No, not the next one. I mean, I don't think he's in a great spot, but I don't think he's going home next week.
Yeah, and that's why I put him at number 1. If they're going to vote somebody out, it's going to be Aubrey. I mean, Aurora's over there. There's a reason they have Aurora gushing over Joe. And Joey Amazing being Joey Amazing and saying, I don't want to be Joey Amazing, and then doing every single thing the exact same he's done for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, but doesn't that put a bigger target on his back if he looks at the camera and he's like, I'm not going to be Joey Amazing, and then everything he does is same old Joe?
I think the target's still on his back, just not for the next 2 to 3 votes.
Yeah. If they build up a lead, let's say they have let's say they don't swap for some reason this season, they have a 9-6 advantage, and then you lose. Yeah, you vote out Joe. Then it's 8-6, and you voted out one of the strongest people in the game.
Yeah, but I don't always like to rank people based on what's going to happen next week. Some people, yeah, but other people,
Bradley, this is what power rankings are. This is why you struggled last season.
That's why I'm terrible at it.
Well, let's hear who your number 1 is then. Let's see how you have.
I had Ron.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Who's your number 2? Why don't we go to your number 2?
My number 2 is, so 2 and 3 are kind of one and the same. I have Eric and Gavin for 2 and 3.
Yeah.
The ones that were, already they seem to be. They've got a strong bond. They're bonding over a common thing, which is not wanting returning players. I think it's a good spot to be when you're 14 new people versus 4 returnees. It's it's not a bad strategy, and I think they're playing it cool. It seems like they're not being too vocal about it, but it seems like the message is getting around camp. So
yeah, I could see them actually being the ones who take down some of these returning players once there's a swap. Because I don't know if Kama's going to lose next week. And if they don't lose next week, then all of this is just talk. But we're being set up for them to be the ones to take somebody down. I have Eric at 2 as well. I think that Eric's positioning is just he got a really subtle first episode, but then I am mad that I went back on not having him as my official winner pick. Because I was like, he's got a really good head on his shoulders where he's not pushing too hard, but he's planting the seeds here and there with only a few people. I mean, at least we didn't see him telling everybody, which is smart, because if you start telling everybody, which it looks like is going to happen at Manu Beach next year or next week, I'm all messed up.
Which one's Manu?
Blue ones.
Blue. Okay.
The one that's,
And if that happens, I mean, look what happens to Reem, because she tries to get rid of Kelly Wentworth and is too vocal about it, or at least wants to weaken Kelly Wentworth. You're too vocal about it, and you're going to end up going home. It happens every time. Christine Shields is the prime example of that, when she said, I don't want to play with Coach on the opening mat. And everybody was like, well, we all do.
Yeah. Yep. Except here, it seems like nobody actually, for the most part, besides maybe Lauren, nobody actually wants to play with the returning players.
Yeah, Lauren and Kelly bonded pretty quickly. And I think Phil and I were both saying we didn't really know which other girls on that tribe Kelly was going to align with. So I think we kind of saw the Kelly and Lauren thing happen.
Yeah, that tribe was kind of a mess.
It's a disaster.
I mean, for being in Navidi Beach, they're not living up to the high standards.
Wow, that's good to know that that's the Navidi Beach. So they should be winning. They should have it easy, right?
Phil, you don't even notice this stuff at this point?
Can't keep track, man. It just looks like sand and trees.
It's all just sand and trees.
It basically is.
Yeah.
Random fake.
Could be in Burbank for all we know.
Hey, if it was after going to that finale and seeing what they're able to make that set look like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
Yeah, CBS studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. I will say though, I think people War Dog was talking to David a lot, and it seemed like as soon as he was just you know what, actually I kind of want to vote out Wendy. And I think that says he feels kind of comfortable with David. Maybe he hasn't openly said I want to work with David the way Lauren has said it, but I do think that tribe is where, because it's a mess, I do think that somebody like Wendy just makes more sense to get rid of before you start looking at David or Kelly, who David, by the way, was the first one across that really hard balance beam. Let's just throw that out there to everybody.
Yeah, as Chris fell 3 times.
I feel like we should also throw out that David looks like he's been there since Millennials Gen X already, just still wasting away.
He hasn't shaved, hasn't eaten, he's ready.
No, what is he going to look like?
I like that he's got the beard, because if he makes it far, that beard is going to be like a Dumbledore beard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's had the beard for a while now.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, It's great. I agree with you. And then he's like, I love all the pictures pregame are him just in his underwear and he doesn't wear pants. And like he's wearing boxer briefs that don't really fit to his leg.
Which
I'm
is
like,
probably
damn.
why he looks like he's been there for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like his boxer briefs already are like shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought it was hilarious. You have the cast picture, like same thing with Aubrey. It's like I just imagine this is what I would do if I went back. It'd be like game starts, just take my pants right off. It'd be like finally I'm in a place where it's socially acceptable to not wear pants. And that's how I imagine they all just got there and they're like, oh, cast picture? Better take my pants off. You're never gonna see these again.
Yeah.
Like,
It's such a jarring look to have just like the underwear, nothing, and then like big ass sneakers. Like it's such a weird look, and everyone does it.
yeah, because why not? I mean, if you
Gotta
don't have
go.
to wear pants, why are you gonna wear pants?
Never gonna do it again.
Exactly. All right.
Or when the t-shirt is longer than your underwear, and then it looks like you just have no pants on
Donald Duck.
at all. Yeah, it's it's a look.
I will say Ron is my number 3, so I'll just throw that out there now. And then
Wait, who'd you have for 1?
Joe.
Oh yeah,
And you yelled at me. So when Joe, Eric, Ron. I'm telling you, I'm looking at my power rankings. My power rankings are very sexist. It's just men at the top, and I think it's because right now, when it's 2 tribes, it's harder to have a reason. I think you're more focused on challenge strength, and even Reem last week was like, if it's about strength, I'm one of the stronger people here, and I agree with her. Like, I don't think that she was necessarily the weakest. It's just if blue loses, the only guy you can really get rid of is David, and if yellow loses, I feel like don't they have more guys anyway, or if they have less guys, even if they have less guys, doesn't matter. I still think that you're going to try to keep some sort of strength, and Joe will be able to convince them to keep that strength. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Who hasn't gone with their 3 yet? I'm keeping track over here. I think we're up to.
I went with 3.
Alexa, you're the only one.
I'm gonna jump to my 4 only because we've already covered these people. I have Joe at number 2, and my reasoning is Joe. We've kind of already talked about him ad nauseum. And then I have Gavin and Eric, Gavin at 3, Eric at 4. But really, they're kind of vice versa. You could put either in either position. For everything you guys said, like they're on the Kama tribe. They're the only like clear set alliance that we've seen. They don't seem to be making a whole stink about wanting to get rid of Aubrey. They just kind of mentioned it between each other and seem to agree on it. So I think, like you guys said, I think they're being discreet, but at least they have each other. So that's my top 4. And if I'm going to be really honest with you, the entire Kama tribe is on top, and then the entire Manu tribe is on the bottom, because I'm that convinced that Manu's going to tribal.
All right. Well, I really hope Kama loses so I can get a giant lead right off the bat.
I've never been good at these, so that's probably what's going to happen.
Bradley, I'm going to say this because I'm ready for you to yell at me. My number 4 is Chris. Now, first, do you know who that is? Second, how do you feel about me putting him at number 4?
Well, guess who else has him at number 4?
No way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I thought you would have had him at like 15 and just been like, this guy wasn't even on my TV.
Well, he wasn't, which tells me he's probably not going home next week. See, sometimes I play for next week,
Okay.
but then other times I'm just like, I feel for this person. I think they're going to do great. Or not. Yeah. Sometimes I'm practical, sometimes I'm not. That's how it goes.
And we obviously can't have a take on Chris, but why do you think he was the ignored guy on that tribe? Like, why do you think he was ignored?
Possible he's dumb. Possible he's boring. I don't know. I mean, not even to be mean to him. It's just, I mean, in a way, though, it's not a terrible place to be. If you're quiet in the first episode, you don't go home and your tribe goes to tribal, you don't get any votes. There are far worse places to be for the rest of the season than that. So I don't think it's necessarily indicative that he's going to be a nobody the whole time. He just was silent.
Yeah, exactly. And that was Vaughn.
But then again, he also looks like someone the show may have cast not for his mental prowess. So it's, we've seen this character before where they're rather silent, which is almost better for the rest of us.
Are you getting a Jeremiah Wood vibe by any chance?
Yeah,
or like hair curl level.
Yeah, it just I don't know. I don't think he'll be our winner.
All right,
the charisma level seems low.
Yeah, no, I hear that. All right, so my number 5. This is somebody who I don't know has interacted with you on Twitter, Bradley. And you might be the
so
only
we have the
person
same
who
number
hasn't
5
interacted
too,
with.
Phil. Yeah, we have the same number 5.
Wait. Yeah, do we really? So
Just make it
Alexa,
up.
me and Bradley are we're just gonna keep on going, and Alexa, you just jump in at the end and give us the rest of your. But War Dog,
Yeah.
I mean, I think War Dog had a really good first episode. I think that, you know, everything that he needed to do, everything he needed to say, he did. He said the right things, and even at Tribal, when he could have had his blow up, he was pretty calm. If we're looking at a Tony, a Joe Mena, and a War Dog was like
He's super
yeah. There's nothing there. He wasn't crazy at all. Maybe it'll come, but in that first episode, there's nothing.
Yeah, he's got it in the eyes, so I feel like it's coming.
cut the
But yeah, Mr. War Dog was good. He what I think was good for him is he was vocal. He stood up for what he wanted when his tribe went to tribal, and then he didn't get any votes. So, I mean, it's a good place to be. If you're giving people your opinion and you're doing it in a loud way, and then people end up doing what you want, there are far worse positions to be in.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm curious to see what's going to end up happening with him moving forward, though, because like you said, it's in the eyes. It's coming. Like,
Don't you see it? That's why I think Rick is going to end up being a villain. It's just like there's a look in his eyes that's just a little bit glazed and crazed.
Dazed and crazed.
And the knucklehead keeps trying to push his like highlight reel to the networks. It's like, bro, there's a reason why you're in a market that's in the triple digits. Like,
oh my God.
There it is. There's the zing.
So do you think that? I think this is a great time to bring this up. Do you think that Devins will be your net after this season? He'll be your Dan. Is that
great transition, Phil? I was wondering.
No, maybe he's nice in real life. I don't know. Although I don't know. Dan could be nice too. I've never met him. No, here's the deal with that. And at this point, I think it's hilarious. Because now I don't even have to catch on to it. People will send me the screenshots. They do my work for me, and then they're like, "Here, go after Dan." But it's like the first time it was so blatant because I'm like scrolling through my Twitter and I can see that he actually liked the tweet, and then like 4 tweets later, he like retweets it almost word for word. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But then the next time he like rips off this terrible tweet. It's not even good. If you're gonna plagiarize better. That is like, I mean, it's low level social media.
Solo picture.
Oh boy. So yeah, and then I mean, it's even funnier. Alexa, we can all see you cleaning your fingernails with your pencil.
Okay, saw that.
No, to make it even better, then he blocked me, which I think is kind of hilarious. Hey, but my favorite part is he uses his fake account to go after me on Reddit. Like production hates me, but yet Matt Van Wagenen keeps liking my tweets, calling him out for plagiarism. So I'm not sure how that's going for you, Dan. I think your fake Reddit account needs better information, but I don't know. I think it's funny. It's just like I just can't help but laugh. Like it's comes across as so desperate, so thirsty for attention, and like I get it. It's reality TV. We all like the attention, but there's a special kind of desperation in just the bad social media. Like he needs a new publicist.
And there we have.
That's it. That's the take on Bradley versus Dan. You heard it here first. Dan will be live tomorrow to give his rebuttal. He won't. Anybody who actually thinks that's true, that's not true unless he reaches out to us.
It better not be true. This podcast is over. You guys are better than putting that kind of content on here.
Wow, here we go. See, that's a great
compliment. Anyone has ever said about us.
Thank you, Bradley. I appreciate that. Who says Bradley is sweet, right?
This is really sad because I tried to open the chat so I could see the what people were saying, but I can't see it at all. So
I'll have to read the chat later.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Corwin Green said Dan's too thirsty, needs to rehydrate before he dehydrates. So there you go.
Wow.
What a reference.
They liked that line.
It's callback.
Okay.
And Corwin is going to be
a callback.
He's going to be competing against us in the power rankings. So
he'll probably beat me.
I think so.
But I'm terrible at this. The only time I'm good at power rankings is when I'm spoiled.
There you go. So if you get this one right, everybody's now going to be like, "Oh, Bradley just has spoilers. Now we're all team."
Yeah, I don't have spoilers again. It's way more fun to watch when you don't know what's going to happen.
Right?
I changed my opinion. For a while, I was like, "This is really fun. I know who's going to go home. Let me watch all the cool editing." And now it's like, no. then I actually have to watch. Where if you don't know what's going to happen, it's still interesting while you play on your phone.
There you go. All right. Well, now now you know Bradley's a passive Survivor watcher. Alexa,
Yo, I'm a casual. Yeah.
He's a filthy casual.
Yep.
All right, Alexa, who's your 5?
My 5 is Julie. So my 5 to 9 are the women.
Is she the toy maker?
She's the wooden toy maker. I don't
The
have
wooden
like
toy.
my 5 and my not, but 5 and my 8, they're pretty interchangeable with each other. But Julie is someone who I think a lot of people were weren't super high on because they just thought she was going to go home early. But from the super minimal amount of content that we got from her, like she's chopping that wood and like not looking great doing it, but she does it. And then everyone starts clapping. Like that to me tells me that everyone really likes her. She's already fit in to some extent with everybody. I think Julie's going to be fine. And it sounds like if they're going to get rid of someone, they're going to be getting rid of Aubrey before they get rid of Julie. Julie seems at the moment like fairly harmless.
I agree with that, but Bradley has a lot to say.
You have a lot of opinions, and I'd like to hear them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the power rankings are much less fun when you're just doing them based on who's going to go home next week, because a lot of these people just are not. I mean, well, and frankly, 16 of them are not going to go home next week. Mm-hmm. So it's, like, then where do you rank everybody else? Because there's some, I think everyone can agree. When I started doing my rankings this morning, it's like, okay, I can put 3 or 4 of you knuckleheads down at the bottom because I think you might go home this week. And then there's like 3 or 4 of you are probably like, chances are not great. But then, like, what do you do with everybody in the middle? I don't even know the people in the middle's names.
You put them in the middle.
Hey, you got the toy maker. You knew that.
Well, yeah, because she's older and fairly attractive.
There we have it.
So yeah, but I have her at 15.
Oh, he's got her at 15. That's a spoiler. Bradley, I have to ask you more. What's your take on wooden toys?
I don't. I have no idea. I don't have a take on wooden toys.
I don't understand how you can't have a take on this.
I just like, what kind of wooden toys are these? What's her? How do we get to her Etsy shop?
Just go to she has a name for it, but just do like Etsy Julie Rosenberg. She'll pop up.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy a wooden toy for Phil, but it was surprisingly expensive, and I haven't been paid in a while. So
yeah,
they're surprisingly expensive, and they're surprisingly terrifying. Nightmares are made of wooden toys.
I'm pro wooden.
Wait, I think I'm on the wrong store because these are all Ugg boots.
Yeah,
is it Julie or Julia?
It's Julie, although Alexa was thinking it was Julia.
Took me a couple weeks to
okay, here we go.
As Bradley looks that up, I'll just say I have Gavin at number 6.
I can't find her. Maybe she had to take her thing down.
We're doing this.
I did not have her as number 6.
No, I had Gavin. Alexa actually had Julie at number 5. So,
Bradley, I'll send you her link after this. You can buy some.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, well, now I probably will have an opinion if they're terrifying.
All wooden toys are terrifying. It's not just Julie making them. I respect what she does, but wooden toys are terrifying things. It's why people don't really make wooden toys anymore.
I think it's an untapped market, and I'm glad she's all in on it.
Okay. Are we ready for my number 6?
Of course we are.
Please.
It's this Victoria girl. That's the redhead, right?
That's where I got her.
Yeah. I mean, she wanted a buff for Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know anything about her or why she's 6th and not 17th, or
That's
I'm just
infallible logic.
What do you work with her?
I'm just happy that I have her at 7, and that Victoria is the first woman off the board for me and Bradley, and the second woman off the board for Alexa, despite the fact that everybody thought she was going to be like the second boot, and I kept defending it that she was not going to be going home that early.
Victoria?
Yeah. So I'm very happy that we're all in agreement. Victoria's surviving this.
I think she's probably actually going to do pretty well. And anybody that wanted a Survivor buff for Christmas that doesn't come out and act like Jacob Derwin, or me, you could argue, in other words, not offending and being polarizing, she's probably going to do okay. She knows what's going on. So Yeah, I think she has a good shot. I think she's probably going to get 6th place, perhaps.
Wow, is that why you put
I
her
just
there?
don't. Yeah, I mean, she seems like she's a solid early 30s kind of day finisher,
Like,
like day
Not
30 to
oh,
34.
yeah.
No,
like,
not
was
8.
that
No,
the
sorry, that made no sense. Yeah, no, and she's gonna make the family visit, but she's not gonna make the final whatever.
I'm just
4,
pumped
3,
for.
yeah.
I'm pumped to see like what family member comes running out, and I hope that they just like have like the bright red hair too, because
They're wearing a buff.
Is this a spoiler? Because you're gonna run out, Phil?
it's me. I'm actually
Sister Victoria. I
Yeah.
missed you.
I always talk about my sister on this podcast. Little do all of you know that that's her.
And we've never mentioned her name, so that actually makes this perfect.
It's true. An intern knows who it is, and that's why he was so low on Victoria, because he's met my sister and he knows how poorly she would do on this season. But hey, she can surprise you once she's out there.
There you go.
All right, so where are we at? So my 7 was Victoria. Alexa and Bradley both have Victoria at 6. So Alexa or Bradley, fight it out and decide who gets to say their 7 first.
Bradley, if
You
you
can
don't
go.
have a strong take on wooden toys, I hope you have a strong take on your 7th pick.
No, I don't. I don't even know who my 7th pick is. I have Julia, so it's close to wooden toys.
Close.
We're one letter off. Yeah, I know nothing about this character. I didn't even recognize her picture when I looked at it.
She's one of the 2 people we didn't talk to. She's one of 2 who didn't get a confession.
Yeah. So I don't know. She could be great. She could be terrible. She could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I really hope Julia starts to come around, because I liked her in the pregame stuff. So I kind of hope she starts to like. I hope that she gets an edit in.
Would I like her based on her pregame stuff?
No.
Okay.
She's nice.
Okay.
She's way too nice.
Yeah, horribly boring.
Maybe I should switch her with the wooden toy lady then.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now
Okay.
we're asking real questions.
I have no opinion on that Julia girl.
There you go. That's perfect. I can already see your blurb if you were still doing the Gordon Holmes things. Her. That's it. Done.
I'm so glad I'm not doing those. Oh God, I forgot every week they were due like in Monday night, and it'd be like, oh God, Monday night trying to do the rankings.
And then you had like Adam, I think, was it the year before or 2 years before, where he was writing like novels for each person, and here's Bradley like person.
Yeah, let's do emojis this week. Let's do one word. You have to. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Who has? What do you guys have for number 8?
Well, Alexa's got to do 7. So you know.
I'll do a 1-2 punch. My 7th is Aurora, and my 8 is Julia. I have them.
Okay.
So they're pretty much they're at the bottom of comma, but overall in like still the top half of the rankings. I have no reason to believe that they'll go home. Just like if comma were to go to tribal council, I don't know who either of them are aligned with. So that's the only reason I have them lower, but I have Aubrey at 9. So if comma goes tribal, I wouldn't think Aubrey to go home. So I think those 2/3 of them are fine. The only like Aurora, we got more of like a fan confessional from her, and Julia we didn't talk to. So I really don't have much to them off of.
You don't have any opinion on Aurora?
I mean, I think she's cool, but
Alexa has a strong opinion on Aurora.
I have a very
Could you please share it?
Yeah, she seems.
Listen, Alexa, no matter how strong your opinion is, after all the opinions I've given, no one's going to remember. They're going to be like, oh, Alexa barely had an opinion on Aurora, even if you say she's terrible.
Yeah, Bradley, you just gave a rousing opinion on Julia, so I'm going to take you to the top.
I like Aurora.
Yeah,
I like Aurora, but since everybody's been doing like no opinions, I'll do my number 8 because I have a strong opinion, and that's that I thought this person was gonna win before the season started. And Vaughn said that it's pretty much a law that I have to take any girl under the age of like 25 on my team and as my winner pick. And there's no way I can give up on Lauren O'Connell just yet. I can't do it yet. And this might be high, but I can't give up on her yet. And also, if they really want to get rid of Wentworth, there's no reason to cut off any part of the snake other than the head right now.
Yeah.
Like Wentworth doesn't do anything else for you if you think she's
I agree with that bit of strategy, but don't you think oftentimes it happens that instead of voting off the head, they get rid of the tail before they get rid of the head?
But if it's Kelly Wentworth, I think you just gotta like stab it.
Yeah. And I also think that David's
unless you start worrying about idols or getting out Fox, like Lauren doesn't seem like she's
Laura's gonna do great on this season.
Lauren, I don't know. It seems like if you're worried about idols and different things, which is when you usually don't vote out the ringleader, you vote out one of their compadres. I don't know. I don't buy that argument, Phil.
Well, I mean, it's a terrible
Phil,
argument.
I reject your argument.
That's it. That's all we got.
But yeah,
who's your number
That's my
8,
opinion.
Bradley?
My number 8 is Keith.
Wow. See, I disagree with you.
Wow, that is spicy and incorrect.
No, I'm willing. Here's a little behind the scenes. He was down at 15th, and then I swapped him
With
Julia. I had Julia at 8, Julie, toy lady. My God, I can't keep these people straight. They're all so not exciting.
there it is.
I had him down at 15, but now he's at 8 because he looked like he was maybe going home, and now he showed a little bit of maneuverability, some skill. So I'm wondering, maybe he's going to stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah, I definitely overreacted. I just wouldn't put him at 8, but I do.
He also followed me on social media. So I mean that.
So really, he's your number 1.
No.
Yeah, he should.
No, because then his stories were so over the top, I had to unfollow him.
No, I really like Keith. I think Keith. I said this on the recap. I said that Keith's getting the David edit, where it's like he's going to be the guy who like overcomes. He looks like he's on the wrong side of the numbers, and then he was able to jump ship when he needed to. So even though we're getting this, one of the returnees is going to go home, I'm still not even buying that one of the returnees is going to go home. I could still see it just being Wendy and Keith not being next because Keith made the right move of not sticking with.
What if the storyline is they're targeting the returnees all season, and then it's the 4 of them left at the end?
I would not be shocked.
So funny.
All right, so number 9's for Bradley and I. Bradley, you want to go first on your number 9?
Yes, I have Rick.
Yeah, I have Rick as well. So it's like an unexciting
111. I don't know. I have not quite seen enough of him to have a truly strong opinion yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have the base. I'm building that strong opinion, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, and I just don't think he goes home. You know what I mean? Like you said, he's got the villain.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's villain in a weird way. Like a villain because you're a bad morning news anchor in the middle of nowhere part of the country.
Oh, intern just lost his mind. That's where intern's from, man. That's where he lives.
I thought you were gonna say, is Rick our intern?
Rick's from Blacksburg.
He's trying to gain a more national audience, so he's going on the Survivor Specialist.
Hey, it might be more national, man. It is, but you know.
Hey, that was not a hit against my favorite podcast.
Hey, thanks, Bradley.
Wow. Good recovery.
That's why I come back. I'm like, sorry, Rob, I can't do it this week. I'm already booked.
Hey, I like
my favorite podcast.
It's like, but you'll be my backup choice in case they cancel, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, you were gonna say something nice. Go.
Yeah, keep going.
Wait, I was saying no. I already said the nice part.
Okay.
Are we
So
done? We're shutting that down.
It's only gonna.
No,
be
I don't know. I don't know. I don't like Rick. Just don't.
Okay.
But that's good. I want everyone to remember that once we get rid of everyone that we don't like on the show, then the show becomes boring.
Mm-hmm.
So, if Rick annoys me, it keeps me engaged. It's just like Angelina. Holy cow, she drove me crazy on the TV, but it's like, I don't want you to go home, even if you're driving me nuts.
Yeah, so, exactly. Hey, I might as well, while you compliment us, once Bradley went home, Ghost Island was over. I say it all the time, and I mean it. Yeah. All of you haters, that's the reason. It was fun to hate.
Yeah, they lost me, and then they lost Noble, and the game was over.
Yup, that was it.
1-2.
God, that's brutal.
There's a lot of Ghost Island content going on. Right now.
Hey, we're bouncing around.
Yeah, forget Ghost Island. Okay.
I'm trying as hard as I can.
Did you guys already do number 10?
None of us have done 10 yet. So if you want to lead the way.
No, has everyone done 9?
Everyone's done 9.
I have.
What was your 9s?
I had Rick and Alexa had Aubrey.
I had Aubrey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. 10. I'll do 10. I have David.
Okay.
So, of more significance than putting him at 10, he's the highest ranked of the 4 returnees in my ranking. Somehow he appears to have like wiggled his way in, where there was this one scene, and I could be remembering this wrong, but it seems like War Dog was going on a rant about returning players, and David was standing right there agreeing with him the whole time, as if like David somehow had morphed into not a returning player, which could just be some funny editing with the show, or I could be completely wrong, because at that point I had a few drinks when I was watching. But yeah, I think somehow he has shrunk to the back enough, which I'm impressed. I was surprised.
He was the one I was
more
most
so than
worried
Kelly.
for. Yeah, he was the one I was most worried for, and I don't feel that worried after the first episode. I feel like he could be a swap victim more than he's actually going to be a victim of Manu losing possibly 3 challenges in a row or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could just be he comes across as so just like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Like we got the reused 33 highlight reel of like someone whacking a coconut and him jumping because it made a loud noise, and it's like, I guess maybe you just see that for 36 hours or something straight, and then you're like, this guy's a threat.
Yeah,
but you've never also seen him, maneuver a vote and get people, on the same page. So it could just be that right now he's not a threat,
and
but down the road.
You've met him as well, right? Like,
yeah, I'm friends with David.
You're friends with David, yeah. And I've met David before, and I've talked to David a couple times, and he's very disarming once you start talking to him. Like, he does not come across as a douchebag Hollywood TV writer, which is how so many people will. And he has more of a reason than so many people to be that way. But he has such a disarming quality to him that I think you forget who you're talking to. And I think that's what's actually going to be his biggest advantage moving forward in this game, is that he can just be like, remember when you thought I was a threat? Like, I haven't done anything to you yet. Like, worry about it once it happens. And then it's too late because it's happened.
Maybe. I think sometimes he comes across as so much like that then it's a threat. Where you're like, wow, you're so slick at pretending or acting like you are so inept, can't do anything, like, oh, shucks me. And then you're like, this looks like an act. But no, I love Dave.
Yeah.
I think, he's a lot of fun.
He also did a great job at just completely disappearing during tribal council. Like, I'm sure Jeff talks to him, but he was like, it was almost as if he wasn't there, which is normally when he would probably get some attention. So he did a great job at that.
And he actually wasn't there because Reem had chopped him up with a machete and just
that was the best scene of the whole episode. Could you put that down?
Like, she was ready to kill. So that was Matt from Amazon levels of like, I'm going to chop you up. And
can you not?
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. No, that was my favorite part.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, since we're ranking people and not challenges, I was just going to point out, I think that puzzle they did was just a bigger version of the puzzle Christian solved.
Yeah.
So, first puzzle of the season in both seasons this year. So, was that Will's puzzle?
No. They wouldn't use one of his twice. No. Come on.
That'd be too much.
Although I'm surprised they haven't brought back the spinny one. The spinny one was such a good one. Everybody loved that one.
Yeah, I was hoping I didn't get that one when I was out there.
Yeah, that's a tough challenge.
But my God, how are these people not that good at slide puzzles yet? It's beyond me.
I think
it's like this slide puzzle apps. Like, I feel like if you're ever applying to be on the show, you just got to get that app and like.
That's all I did for months and months. I can solve like a slide puzzle with a million pieces, and it's just like, as soon as you get, because there's a method to it, and as soon as you learn the method, it doesn't matter what the picture is. As soon as you learn how to maneuver them, but yeah, I couldn't believe it. Again, it looked like, like the Blue Tribe, whichever one that was, Reem's Tribe. I'm just gonna call it Reem's Tribe. Reem's Tribe, they were just like messing that thing right up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I also think this one's a little bit harder just because you're moving heavier pieces, where the other one is just boom, 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 quick. This one, you actually have to get people on the same page, which when you've only known people for 3 days might be harder than if you're shut up, I got it.
Yes, of course, but yeah, it was a cool challenge for sure.
Yeah.
As a side note to the strategy and the people.
Yeah, I love the 3-level balance beam. I thought that was so cool. Finally, they did something different, and also no more solid nets, because somebody's going to die, and then Survivor's going to end if they keep doing solid nets.
Solid nets,
like the net that is so taut that like when they fall off, they pretty much just break their body.
They don't there's not much give.
Oh yeah.
Because now we've seen
Yeah.
Wentworth.
Those nets are also not. I mean, they're very rough.
They
Yeah.
look
Which is
sketchy.
not me complaining about dirt or sand. I'm just saying from a standpoint of like you fall off that balance beam.
Mhm.
It's not only is that net tight and doesn't stretch very much, but it's also like the scratchiest. You end up with like a rope burn kind
Yeah.
of. I mean, because in that first challenge of Ghost Island, we were bouncing down that same net, which doesn't give a whole lot. I mean, people were falling all over, and everyone was like had spots of them that just were missing flesh
Yeah.
from that net. So, yeah, the nets could be better.
Lucky for all of you, though, none of it was your face, like poor Kelly Wentworth smashed your face.
Yeah, my favorite tweet about that was like somebody said Cowboy tried to get rid of her headache or something.
Yeah, I like
What a reference.
that.
Which I get the reference, so maybe I'm not as casual as I think. I don't know. Jury's out.
A little less
But
sketchy.
That is now 25 seasons ago. Just keep that in the
Wow.
back of your mind. 25 seasons.
oh god, it was back when I was like a teenager.
Old people.
Yeah, we were young back then, man. Now we're old.
Yeah.
I will say that my number 10 is Aurora. So I think like
Okay.
Aurora's on board. See, the reason I like Aurora is because Aurora's on board with Joey Amazing. And if you're on board with Joey Amazing and the other returnees, the odds are you're not going to go home early. That's just what happens in these seasons. Is if you're on board with them, you get to hang around. If you go against them, you go home. Reem is one in a line. So
Yeah, but this season feels a little bit different.
I hope so.
I think Joe is
I
the
generally
one
agree.
to hang on to.
Yeah. Out of the four, best one to hang on to for sure. But I don't know, something. It seems like the dynamic and the focus. Well, already in episode 1, there's a concerted effort where everyone is saying we cannot keep these people, and that's just doesn't feel how it usually goes. Usually, you don't get beyond that scene in the boat where everyone's like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited to see these people. I'm such a big fan," and you hear nothing else until way further down the road where they're like, "Hey, we need to get this person out," and then it usually doesn't work. But it seems like I don't know. These people seem really fired up to get rid of these people.
Yeah, and that's why I still have 3 people left in my bottom 7. I still have 3 of the returning players left. The only one I didn't have left is Joe because I figure to vote out Joe second is wild.
Yeah. And this is the first time that it's been a captain season where there are 2 captains on each team. And at one point, like on each tribe, you see Kelly and David hiding in a corner, and you see Aubrey and Joe hiding in a corner, and they're like, "Oh crap, this is not good." So like they're equally as aware of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who has not gone? Alexa, number 10.
My number 10 is the MVP of the episode, which worked. Ron got the second most, but both of which are on Phil's team, so I think it doesn't necessarily matter. But I have War Dog at number 10, which seems really low, but I would rather people look at this as he is the number 1 on the Manu tribe. I think he's the one with the most options. I think he's super safe. The kind of like what you guys said earlier, he can get his opinion out there without seeming like a leader or seeming overbearing, and he knows when to pull back when, like, if it's becoming too confrontational. And I think that's a crazy good quality to have, to have on this show. So I think War Dog is perfectly fine.
I'm pumped he got MVP. So proving that my first pick was brilliant.
Not overwhelmingly, but he won by 4 votes or something. So yeah, he got a lot of votes.
Bradley, we threw the bad team at you last year, and you had Alec, who was amazing, and you had, who was the other one that we gave you?
Yeah, Alec is fun. I've hung out with Alec.
It was Alec and B.
B, that's right.
Yeah, B is also fun. B set me up a Tinder.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
she got my age and name wrong, but she found some pictures to put on there.
There you go. So now what you're saying is that is not actually you. If anybody gets Bradley,
they're getting catfished
in the Southern California area. That's not actually you. She set it up on your phone, or is it on B's phone and she's just pretending?
No, it's on my phone.
All right. So Bradley's on the Tinder.
I like the old school Tinder. That's in a sea of God knows how many dating apps there are. You're sticking with the original. I like that.
I've never opened it after the first night she set it up. She set it up and she was like, "Here, left is bad, right is good. Go for it." And so I just was drunk the whole night. And now I get an email like every week, and it's like, "You have so many likes, so many your matches are waiting for you." And I'm like, I don't know what this means, so I just don't open it.
You probably have like 8 million supermodels waiting for you, Bradley, and you're just blowing.
Every one of them.
It's possible.
Hey, you
they
were on
want me for
We can
they
wrap
want me
this
for
up.
my lawyer money now.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can go respond to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might if you want to do it right now. That's totally fine. We understand you don't want to listen to it.
Swiping.
If I want, no, I'm not going to open Tinder.
He's going to. It's going to happen as soon.
Oh goodness.
right.
Are you ready for my 11?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, are we there yet?
Yes.
We are.
Okay, I have Lauren.
Okay.
And I have her above Kelly for the same reason, kind of that maybe Phil said, same kind of thing. I think target would be Kelly. I worry that, they might settle if they don't feel like they're sure they can get rid of Kelly, and they might target Lauren. But I think she's doing a good job. Same as Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
You got to align at least half-heartedly with the returnee person, because they do have some wisdom and experience that is worthwhile, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. My 11 is Julia, not Julie. Julia. I had to think how that was spelled. Yes,
the silent one or the wooden one.
We're gonna have you guess.
Silent one.
Okay.
I go silent one first. Although I guess wooden.
The A is silent and the E is wooden. Okay.
There we go. Yeah. So I have Julia. I hope that we see more of Julia, but much like I have Chris higher up, it's because she didn't speak. So I'm pretty confident she's not going to go home in the second episode if they're not speaking in the first episode. And also, though, I'm not as confident that she won't go home as I am that Chris won't go home, because Chris is more of just a physical beast, and Julia, maybe she wasn't fitting in and that's why she didn't get. I doubt that very much, but maybe that's what happened. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of people who we didn't see much and definitely not going home, I have Chris at number 11. I think Chris is fine. I think, Bradley, you were the one who said if they were going to go home, we would have heard from one of them. So I don't see any reason to get rid of Chris. Yeah. He's clearly not bothering anybody. He's kind of like the counter to Reem, where he didn't do well on that balance beam, but people are still going to assume he's going to be great in every challenge. So they're not going to get rid of him.
Is he the one that pulled himself up the rope with Joe?
Yes.
Or against Joe? Yeah.
Yeah. He did that good. He did that very fast.
Very
yes, that would not be the role I would be given in a challenge, I can assure you.
A lot of upper arm strength that I don't have.
I do also love that Joey Amazing didn't want to be Joey Amazing, and then he's climbing up the rope. And he started fire. Just want us to say both of those things. Want to get that out there.
Oh, Joe.
Anyone else?
Joe's really cool. When I met Joe in real life, I liked him a lot more than I thought I would, because that's not usually my archetype that I care to surround myself with.
But now that you've been on TV, you want the cool people.
That'll be great for your Tinder. You should put a picture of you and Joe on your Tinder.
You should.
Yeah, I mean, periodically Michael will text me and he'll be like, "Hey, look, someone's using a picture of the two of us on their Tinder." So I feel like I've made it. Someone has used my picture in their Tinder, which I'd be curious to know how well that worked for them.
How did Michael get my Tinder, man? How did he do that? It's just all I have on mine are pictures of you and me, Bradley, so that people don't actually know which is me and which is you unless they've watched Survivor. So my whole Tinder duo picture.
Well, they're probably assuming it's me, because I don't think there's a picture of the two of us where you have your eyeballs opened.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Usually you take pictures like this at the bar, Phil.
I do. The bright lights get me, man. I don't like
it. Phil wants girls who are into that look.
Yeah.
Two people, one of which with their eyes closed.
Yes.
Hey. You can be far less picky if you always have your eyes closed, Phil.
On that note, moving on to the next one. Number 12. My number 12 is Wentworth. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I don't think Wentworth's going home. Although I'm sure that you will all maybe have, maybe you don't, but I think that Wentworth is too strong. She's the strongest female player out there, in my opinion. So I think you don't get rid of the strongest female player on a tribe, especially if you lose back-to-back challenges. And then you might lose 3 challenges in a row. And now you're getting rid of strong players. And so what if you get rid of Kelly Wentworth? I think Kelly will be able to bond with people. And I still think she's going to go really deep in this game. It's just right now it looks a little sketchy for her.
Yeah. I think you're right. Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. I agree with that. It feels the target on Kelly feels less genuine than the target on Joe and Aubrey.
Yes, the Aubrey target feels real.
Hence, I have her last. Yeah, it feels very real.
Yeah.
But for 12, because we're not to 17 yet, I have Aurora. I guess I like her. Do we know if she's telling everyone she's a lawyer, or is she following in the illustrious footsteps of me and Mr. War Dog by coming up with some lousy cover story?
I think she is telling people.
I think she's gonna be honest. I don't know if she commented in the preseason about like not wanting to talk about it, but I don't know. Jessica Lewis said she was okay. Right? Wasn't that her thing?
Hey, Jessica Lewis said it.
Jessica Lewis referenced twice in 1 hour.
Coming up in 3 weeks, Jessica Lewis on the podcast, where she'll talk about potato chips and her rock and how she's going to play 10 more times, even though she never gets called.
I'm going to do
sorry.
Also, Bradley, before we move on, can you tell us how you really feel?
Yeah, I'm really able to figure out where.
I'm sorry. I was like, I should see what's happening on the Twitter today before I get on. And what do I find? This gif of her like doing handstands in her pregame stuff. And it's like, she's tweeting it out. And I'm like, oh God, give it a rest.
I feel you.
But okay, there you go.
Hey, who's Alexa, who's your 12?
My number 12 is Mr. Rick. I think Rick's fine. I don't like
the news anchor, right?
News anchor Rick from living in Macon, Georgia. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's how
Sounds good.
He said
it's not Macron because that's the president of France.
That is not.
And everybody who listens to this podcast probably just learned something new.
Macron is not a town in Georgia. Yeah, I think Rick's fine. I mean, I think he's going to want to play. I don't know if I'm like fully on him being a villain train, but he's going to be around and people are going to have opinions on him either way. But he was the one who was like, hey guys, let's just do this 6-person alliance right here. So that speaks to like him being able to rally the troops together. So I think he's going to be fine for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's fine. All right. I have to make sure that I actually have my 13 right because now I use Julia, right? So Julie is 13.
Is she the silent one or the toy maker?
He's a toy maker. I have toy maker at 13. I might just start listing it that way. I wrote it. This is like such bias on my opinion, and it's just because I'm so like old school in my ways of thinking where it's, in most seasons, the weaker older lady goes home early and we see her trying to chop that tree trunk, whatever. And it took a while, but also everybody is very positive with her. So I do think
to be fair, that dry bamboo, it's not like it just cuts easily if you're like whacking it. No, you have to sit there looking like a fool for a little while. So it's more the editing choice. They made her look silly. I mean, it's not like Dom showed up and he just started whacking bamboo and it just like, or Chris Noble, and it just breaks in half on the first whack. That's not how it works. So, I mean, that's a little bit the editors trying to make her look stupid rather than she's possibly can't chop bamboo.
But I don't even think that they were trying to make her look stupid because I do think that it actually made her look good because everybody claps for her. And it was like, but no, it was like one of the only human moments we got in this premiere. That's all. Think about every other character. We only got Keith and Julie who really got those types of moments in that premiere. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think they were clapping at her like I clapped at Donathan, or do you think they were clapping for a job well done?
Nobody claps at anyone like you clapped at Donathan.
Oh, boy. For the record, so I finally got the chat to work, and I just want to throw it out there that even before I was on the show, because everyone's like, oh, he's being bitter, which is funny because I'm not. But I still had these opinions about people before I had been on the show. It's not like I just suddenly get these opinions and thought everyone was great. And then I met some people and they voted me off. So now I'm going to hate them. Like, that's not how it works. I just am kind of inflammatory. It's not bitterness. So I just public service announcement.
Welcome to the podcast where all of us have defended ourselves against the live chat. It's a dark place.
It's a dark place. Although
I would not recommend.
I mean, they're being pretty nice to me, even if there's people calling me out for having AirPods. They're like $100, people.
Yeah, but I don't even have $100, Bradley.
They're $100.
Let's just say if you'd like some legal services from me, it's going to cost you several pairs of AirPods an hour. So I can afford the AirPods.
Although, wait, that implies though that people are asking you for legal advice, Bradley.
So therefore,
yeah. Does anyone need a business card?
No, but the live chat's actually been very nice today, and this will also be great because we're going to introduce who's coming on next week because we already know who's next week, and we're going to introduce it, and we'll see if Bradley's still bitter at them or not. It's not Donovan.
Wait, is Jessica coming this week and not in 3 weeks?
Jessica, we're actually doing after we hang up this. We're just gonna go back live.
Go right there. Objection, Your Honor. I would like to have a podcast after Bradley to rehab my image.
Also,
to which you hopefully responded, "What image?"
There's a lot of comments in here about my eyes too, and like, guys, I just have like swollen
People
eyes.
are disarmed because they can see them right now.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to do?
Your eyes are very red.
It's the lighting.
Did you get sunburned, Phil?
I did get sunburned. I
went
like
out the first nice day in a while.
I know. It was actually yesterday that I got burnt, but like, I'm also like, it's the lighting.
Have we ever addressed on the podcast when Alexa came to Los Angeles?
Oh, when I looked violently hungover.
What happened before you were violently hungover?
I like how Bradley's the one who's going to throw you on the bus for this.
It has been heavily implied in occasional. I think it was like Carl was like the first one who brought it up, but I've done a very good job of giggling uncomfortably, making jokes about it, and then immediately talking about my number 13, who is Keith.
I'm sad I missed it. I've heard it was legendary.
It was unbelievable.
Who has told you it was legendary, just out of curiosity?
Was it Carolina Eastwood by any chance?
Listen, I don't want to throw the host under the bus, but
obviously.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if there was anybody else who might have mentioned it because, I heard it from Adam.
I heard it from this guy Phil. He's a fan.
He's a scumbag.
Is he the one who closes his eyes a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you rarely will see it. Like, are his eyes green? Are they blue? Does he have eyes?
No one really knows.
It's also hard because
I'm
always looking at the bottom part of the screen so I can look at you guys because it doesn't switch for me because I'm the host. So it doesn't switch. So I always have to be looking down. So that's why probably everybody's looking at my eyes. I have thick eyelids, guys. That's just what it is. My life sucks. It's going to get better, but it's just
looking a little puffy.
Your profile. I have thick eyelids.
I have thick eyelids.
Oh, Lord. Have you done your 13?
Well, Alexa just did Keith, and we kind of rushed through it, but she can say it if she wants. Or Bradley, you can.
I think Keith is fine. I think Phil hit the nail on the head. Like, he's going to get kind of the growth. Oh, my God, it's so dark. I need to turn on my light. He's getting, like, kind of the growth, but he still needs his footing. Like, he saved himself by sprinting to the big group and tossing the two girls under the bus. If he still doesn't really have an alliance, so he's still gonna find somebody.
Well, someone in the chat, Phil, suggesting maybe you should just put sunglasses on so we don't have to see your eyelids.
I could. I have my sunglasses in the other room.
Or perhaps you could do a Johnny Depp kind of thing and just paint some eyeballs on those lids.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Bono look would look good for me though. I think I could pull off Bono.
Yeah, maybe like a baby blue lens to complement the red hair.
Hey, I'm telling you, if I have this lighting, I'll blame the lighting. I'll blame the lighting in my face.
You if sit with the sun facing you.
I know.
Find your light, Phil.
I know. Here we go. Actually, just blame my parents. It's their fault. If they had better genes, I wouldn't look like this. So what's next?
You and Victoria are very pale and very carrot colored.
That's it. That's it. That's why I got to stand by her and tell everybody that they're wrong if they ever think she's going home.
I'm so excited. I hope Victoria makes it to the Love One visit so we get to see you on the screen.
It's going to be great. Running out.
I'm telling you.
And then everyone's going to drag you on Twitter. They're going to be like, oh, God, who's that Phil person that showed up for that girl, Victoria? And then you'd be like, oh, God.
Oh, God.
I can finally understand what it's like.
I actually don't want to be on this show.
I don't even know why I'm here.
I'm realizing I'm missing someone. And I can't figure out who I'm missing.
Did you double up?
There's 17 people, right?
Correct.
I have 13. I know that
You're missing a lot.
Well, there's 4 people that I need left. I know. Oh, I haven't done Keith yet. Okay, cool. That's who I was missing. I'm moving everybody down, and I'm putting Keith at 14, although I just jumped ahead of Bradley. So, Bradley, why don't you tell us who your 13 is?
Joe.
Okay.
All right.
I agree with you. I don't think he's in immediate danger, but in theory, if you're ranked 16th, you're not going home this week. So having him at 13 still means he's not going to go home. for the same reasons we have discussed. But at the same time, I don't think it's a good look, even if this is editing, where you say, I'm not going to be Joey Amazing, I'm not going to do this, and then what do they show for the next 2 minutes? You being Joey Amazing. I just don't think it bodes well for a returnee arc to come back and end up winning the game if they just are back in their old ways. It's kind of like if I were to be back there and it was like, I'm going to be so nice to everybody, and then I start clapping at everyone, right? It's just like you're going to look at that and you'd be like, well, you're not going to win. So that's kind of how I feel. As in, like, I just don't know how well he's going to do if it's like he has the self-awareness to say he's not going to be Joey Amazing because that puts a target on his back. But then he goes and does the only thing he knows how to do, be Joey Amazing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That said, I think he's hilarious, especially now having met him. I have more context to put Joe on the TV in, and it's all good. I think he's great.
Alexa.
It
sounded like you were going to say something, and then that's why I was just wondering.
Yes.
Oh no, I have nothing to say. I can go to my 14.
Yeah, why don't you go to your 14?
Okay. My 14 is Lauren. I think Lauren's probably okay. But Bradley, I get your point of, like, as much as we can talk about everyone wants to get the head of the snake, like, it is more realistic to get their sidekick, because especially when it's Kelly Wentworth, who is, like, known for finding idols. So yeah. Lauren is like she's associated with someone who is probably going to be popular to want to get rid of. But I think Lauren's safe because she's the only person with, like, a very clear ally, and that strong ally very much knows what she's doing. So I think Lauren's going to be fine. I don't think we're at a point where they're thinking of, like, hitting Lauren instead of Kelly. I think, to Phil's point, they would go straight to Kelly. But Lauren did make it very clear that she wants to be with her. So I guess that could, like, make people nervous.
And Alexa brings up hitting women on the podcast. I just want to say that was Alexa who did that.
Did I say that?
You said that they were going to hit Lauren or Kelly instead of Lauren. I'm like, wow, they're just going to hit her, huh?
Yeah, just a collective smack.
Okay.
This is fine.
Wow. Bradley, who's your 14? Let's get away from the domestic abuse.
Let us, please.
I have Kelly.
Okay.
Same reason. I just got the feeling she's a target. I think she's in a little quite as good a spot as Joe, but maybe that's because she's on the tribe with David. So if you're going to go for a returnee, I feel like they're going to go for Kelly before they go for David. She got a vote. So yeah, I mean, I think we've covered her. She's fun. Yeah. I like her as a player.
Yeah, she's definitely fun TV. And I know Vaughn was saying that she was really overrated on our podcast, and then I kind of agreed with him, and people jumped down our throats. And I will still say, like, to the day I die, that she would have lost to Jeremy. But I do think that she's really fun when she starts playing, because she's a scrappy player and she won't stop playing until she gets what she wants. And that's what I'm looking for in a Survivor player. So I really like Kelly Wentworth. Do I think she's overrated as a player? Yes. But I really, really, really like Kelly Wentworth.
I don't know if she's overrated, though. She has to play her ass off in San Juan del Sur to do that poorly and still get asked back. Like, there was something there where they were like, hey, we need her back. So I don't know. She might be brilliant at the game.
I think with the whole, like, overrated discussion, I think she's appropriately rated very high, and then, like, people treat her like she is like God's gift to Survivor, so naturally that's going to overrate. But I think she's still very good.
Can everyone see this, Phil, or is that a private thing?
It's only the three of us.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
All I said, Alexa, was when Bradley was making his whole argument, I said, or she's just really, really hot. Which it helps.
I don't want to be that shallow, but yeah, I would like her on my TV the whole season.
I think she's very
and
hot.
Next season.
Yeah,
and the one after that.
And it does help. And she also was playing with her father, who really hurt her game, and she was playing with a bunch of crazies in that season. So they saw the potential. And they also saw that.
Phil, they're always all crazies.
Yeah, but that season was weird, man. That's
why they psych test you to figure out who's nuts.
But it's weird when there's a pair of crazies. It's one thing if you're crazy on your own, but it's weird when there's 9 pairs of crazies. That makes it really hard. So I think they saw that Kelly had potential, and even if she wasn't a good player, nobody was going to complain if Kelly Wentworth went to Final 5. So, hey.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, who's up? I said Keith was my 14. I didn't really talk much about him. I really like Keith. I think Keith's going to be fine, but just in case.
Yeah,
15.
I will say, I think Keith is going to have a hard time, even though he has the growth narrative. He seems to come across so young, and he is pretty young. But if you look at somebody like Michael or even somebody like Julia and Co-Wrong, they just didn't hit me as that young. He seems younger than Jessica Pete last season seemed. I mean, he really just seems like a kid, and I just don't know how well that's gonna bode well for him. You know, how that's gonna work.
When he said, did he go to Duke or UNC?
Duke.
When he said like, "Oh, I'm whatever, you're at Duke," I feel like that's the first time I've ever heard that on my screen. Like, on Survivor. Like no one ever talks about where they currently go to college. So he definitely seemed super young when he said that.
Did you know that Lauren goes to Baylor and is a college athlete?
She's a college athlete.
Did you know that? Okay. Bradley, did you know that?
Yeah. I did. It was in the season, right? Or I mean, it was on the TV, wasn't it?
She's a college.
It might be the only thing that she talked about the entire preseason too. Just Alexa saying that. Yeah, she was very big on that. But she was very self-aware of it afterwards because she was like, "How can anybody root for me if all I'm talking about is being a college athlete?" Yeah. So she's self-aware in it.
I think it's kind of funny.
I guess, but she still did it.
Yeah, but hey. All right. I have David at 15. So I really like David, obviously. Love David. Hope he survives it. But I'm just so scared that what if he, this idol thing he's talking about, what did he call it? What's his plan?
I'm not sure. Can we pause for a second? I have to go pee so badly. I'm not going to make it to the end. So I'm going to try to mute myself.
You're muted.
I could also mute you myself, and you don't have to do this.
That would have been funnier if you muted him, but I also think it would be really funny if we could hear him peeing in the background of you and I having a conversation.
I can unmute him. I just unmuted him.
Did you really?
Yeah, so we can listen to Bradley P if we want to.
Guys, this is the quality content you get with us. You not only get power rankings with ex-survivors, but you get to hear them pee.
Yeah.
Carl ripped a cigarette at the end of our interview with him.
Exactly. So who cares?
Davy's Siberian Husky was coming in. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I will say this, though. We're going to have Brendan on the podcast coming up, but we haven't revealed that to Bradley yet. So Brendan's going to be on next Sunday, and I'm curious to see how Bradley will react to that. So all of you fans will know, and hopefully there's a build up now to when Bradley comes back from his pee. It's also really funny that I can just unmute him whenever I want, even though he was the one who muted it. And also, like we said, $20 patrons. Make sure you send us your power rankings. It doesn't matter how. Bradley's back, so now we're going to go back to talking about Survivor.
Oh, bye.
Yeah, he muted himself. Bradley, I could unmute you whenever I wanted. We listened to UT. It was weird.
It was jarring.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that I have the control room, so even though you muted yourself, I'm able to unmute you. So if you want to go on a really bad rant.
I left the microphone. Granted, I do live in a tiny little studio, so the bathroom is like a foot and a half from where I am.
Corwin Green just said $20 patrons look forward to soundbite of Bradley peeing tomorrow. So that's going to be for our $20 patrons only.
No. My peeing is worth at least 25, Phil.
That's our new level then, the Bradley level. And it'll be people who
there's like sleep apps, like of all the different jungle sounds, and be Bradley peeing in that too.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Anyway, all right. So I had David at 15, and then I was rudely interrupted by Bradley's bladder.
Thank you. Now I can make it through the rest of this podcast.
That's fine. That's fine.
You were looking a little nervous, and now I understand why.
There have been so many.
I was like trying to. Can we make it to the end? But now I'm in no hurry.
I will say
Jessica Lewis is coming on in 10 minutes, so
my laptop is always plugged in. And there have been numerous times where I've said, Alexa, I need to go and get my laptop charger. And it was not to get a laptop charger. Yeah, so you're not the only one who has had to pee really bad.
Well, now you're just being a baby because you won't admit that you have to pee.
No, I don't need
we have too much pride. Well, normally what we use the live chat for is just like, I need to pee.
I mean, I've also been on Survivor, so.
That's true. Hey, we've all
running around in my underwear. So might as well talk about peeing.
Let's go to my David, huh? I really want to talk about David.
By all means.
No, I think that David, it's a shame because no matter what, much like Joe, once Joe hits the merge, there's always going to be a target on Joe. No matter how well David actually does fit in, there's always going to be a target on David because he's just known as that good of a strategic player, and it's eventually going to come up. Maybe not this week, maybe not next week, but it will come up eventually. So I have him at 15, and I really, really, really hope that David somehow shocks me and makes it all the way to the end of this game.
Bradley,
Okay.
do you say?
I mean, yeah, I think out of the 4, I think his chances of making it to the end are the best. That's my guess. Now,
Really?
granted, I mean, that's why I had him the highest. I think I agree with you, Phil, that he's not pretentious when you're around him. He's fun to hang around with. He just kind of, he's pretty good at just blending into the conversation when he needs to. Blending into the group of people. He can be the boisterous person, but he can also fall to the background. He's pretty good about that. And I think he also sells himself as less confident than he actually is, which works because it's believable. So yeah, I think I don't think any of the 4 of them have a great chance, to be honest. I mean, I hope they're the 4 left because I think it'd be hilarious. But I'm not high on any of their chances.
Yeah, and I think everything you just said with David, that's exactly what the people who played with him said in Millennials vs. Gen X. I remember Brett came on here and said, I don't know if he was telling me the truth or not. I have no idea. And I think that is what's so good about David is when you hear all the things he's done, you're almost shocked by it, but then you're not shocked by it at all. And I think that's what's going to happen on the season. Everybody thinks they know David, but I don't think anybody actually knows what to expect when they start talking to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who wants to do their 15 next?
I'll do my 15 and 16. My 15's Kelly and David's my 16. We've talked about Kelly a ton, but I'm with you guys on David. And I think like preseason, everyone thought he was the one who's going to be in the worst position. But I think he has some footing. The reason I'm nervous about him this week is because we have him saying, I want to get rid of Kelly. And as soon as you're the one who suggests getting rid of someone, the target's also going to be on you. And he already has some form of target on his back. So I'm nervous for him, but I think both of them will be okay.
I just am very happy that Bradley and I have the same bottom 2, just reversed. So that's what I'm excited about.
Wait, you have Wendy as last?
I have Wendy as last and Aubrey at 16.
Okay, yeah. We actually had a lot of the same ones, Phil.
I'm really nervous. I'm going to do awful this year now. Because
yeah, Phil, that's not a good sign.
That's I guess that's why we're friends. Well, my 15 is wooden Julia.
Wow.
Julie.
It's Julie.
Wooden, yeah, the wooden one. Yeah, I just don't, unfortunately, think she's that exciting. So
yeah, that's fair.
That's that. Moving on, number 16. That's all I want. We've talked about the silent and the wooden people of the season enough. Yes. Okay, 16. I have Wendy. I just don't. I mean, I think she was lucky she didn't go home last week, and I just don't see how she gets off the bottom. Mm-hmm. I think even I mean, as it's been explained, this is only about what happens next week. But I think down the road, let's say Wendy does start to make it deep, she's not anyone you're going to take to the end with you. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless she's like that obnoxious or something, but like for someone to go out there and to have a compelling personal story, something they've had to overcome in their life. And, I think that's not what you want to sit next to if you're, let's say like going to Duke or if you're Key. Yeah. Or War Dog.
The guy who calls yourself War Dog.
Calls yourself War Dog and goes to law school. So
I just want
2 reasons.
I just want to say this though, Bradley. On this podcast, it's Big Wendy 6. So if you could please refer to her as Big Wendy 6, that'd be nice.
Who's a Big Wendy 6?
That's
also her.
Yeah. So
is she in the chat right now?
No, but she's Big Wendy 6. So we have.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to do those kind of things anymore. Ghost Island really busted all the rules, and so I think they had to regroup and start enforcing them. Sorry, Alec.
Well, I have Big Wendy 6 at 17. I have Aubrey at 16. I'm nervous for Aubrey, but I feel like the Blue Tribe loses, which is why I have David as low as I do. Because let's say Wendy can survive. Is she going to survive and make it so that David goes home? I don't know. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. So I just think that she has put herself in a tricky spot here by her two biggest allies being Reem and Keith. Reem goes home. Keith already has, brought himself into that group. I don't know what the word is. Lawyer, help me. But that's why I think that she's in a lot of trouble. She really is an outsider in that group.
Mm-hmm. She's every single bit of like sneak peek content has been about her being on the outside. So maybe that's a gigantic red herring, but I think to your point, Bradley, I don't see how she gets off of the bottom.
Yes, I don't know if she's next week, the week after, whatever. I don't think she's in it for the long haul in the game. No, hey, she could go to the other part of that game and win. I don't know.
And that would be a pretty crazy
I've got
with that personal background.
Well, so here's the thing. Here, I've got some structural issues with this ranking podcast. Okay, because what do we do once you start to get people on the island of extinction or whatever it's called? Because in theory, someone's going to make it back into the game, and so like with Reem, what if Reem is our winner? Like she had a pretty good first episode in terms of like a lot of content. She went home. There was that bit at the end. The preview is all like, what's Reem thinking on Edge of Extinction? What if Reem is our winner? Which I'm all on that train. I love Reem, but we could just be ranking all these knuckleheads for nothing. And then Reem strolls in and is like, motherfuckers, where's my check?
It could happen.
I would love that.
But if she did, I think everyone would vote for her.
This is strictly based on who gets voted out this week, and that's it. And then when that challenge comes up,
that Phil,
where when Reem comes back into the game, and Jessica Lewis is our co-host for that week, our guest, what'll happen is she'll put Reem at whatever position she thinks is likely for Reem to actually go home. So unfortunately, you came in early, so you don't get that fun.
Listen, no, I know how the rules go, Phil. I was just trying to talk to the manager because I don't like the rules.
Well, Alexa's the manager, so I'm going to X out, and you talk to Alexa.
I'm the manager.
But at any rate, okay, so my last person, I have Aubrey in the bottom, and unfortunately, I've got it in the bottom because who was it, Eric and Gavin? They seem pretty just unified, and they've got one focus, and it's to get rid of them. And I think that Aubrey's good at puzzles. She's smart, but is she known as the challenge beast? Because a lot of times it's more just about like what people perceive you to be really good at. And I just don't see. I can see Joe lasting longer than her, and if they do lose, I don't see how she at least doesn't get a good handful of votes. But I think we might be looking at our robbed winner as possibly a second boot.
I could see it. I mean, I really could. But I do think that Aubrey is somebody who will stick it out as long as she possibly can on Extinction Island, because she'll have that. I came so close first time. I came so close second time. There's no.
Wouldn't everybody?
I don't know, man.
Who's going to go?
That's the question.
Who's going to go go to the right, especially when the sign is like, oh, your adventure journey's over? I mean, like if it said vodka and Snickers to the right, then maybe, you're like, maybe I'll go to the right.
Sounds like a hangover, Bradley. You need a little more than just sugar. You need a little more than
Phil, if you just keep drinking, you can never get hungover.
Hey.
That's how Ponderosa goes. I just don't see how do you go to the right? Especially in like this version of Survivor casting that we seem to be in lately, where it's like a lot of fans. I can see someone that's like, well, this kind of sucked. Mm-hmm. B goes to the right, but who else goes to the right? I just don't.
Well, and I think what happens too is nobody goes to the right; they all go to the left. But once they get to that island and realize how little is there, then you might leave. Yeah, then you might just leave.
By going to the left, you get to find out what happens.
Yeah,
and then you can still end up going to the right. I would assume 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this sucks.
Yeah, I guess maybe Reem does that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the vodka and Snickers are still in somebody's bag, so you're still,
Yeah.
close by. Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how you could be willing to sign up to go on Survivor and go on this big adventure and then not want to know at least what is to the left.
Oh yeah.
Even if I just don't. I don't see anybody not taking it.
I
don't
think
know how you
everybody
do it.
has to. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Bradley, the Survivor team didn't get to make an eliminator pick last week. We got Vaughn's eliminator pick for this week, which is David, right? Alexa, that's what he sent us.
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't check.
Oh, he sent.
Wait, he thinks David going home this week?
No. So
Maybe
this
someone's gonna survive the week.
yes.
Oh, survive the week?
It's kind of like it's like a survivor pool in if he picks David, he can't pick David again. So you can only pick one person.
Which is great for you because all you're really trying to do is make sure you survive this week. And you can try to be nice for future survivors like Sunday was when she came onto our podcast during your season. Or you can just be like, screw it. At least it wasn't me who messed it up. And then when these people are left with just whoever.
When Jessica Lewis shows up and is trying to get it right?
There you go.
In that case, I'm going to say Mr. Ron is not going home this week. You think I'm going to play like Sunday? Give me a break.
I love it. So the way this will work is next Sunday when Brendan is on our podcast, and it's Brendan, so you really just screwed Brendan. He cannot take the version of Brendan that is Ron Clark and pick him for Eliminator. So,
oh, Brendan. Oh, God. Edge of Extinction would have been excruciating having to listen to Brendan's pep talks. Guys, we're starving, but it's going to be worth it. I love Brendan. I have to be careful. There are a few people that even if I like making fun of them, I cannot. And Brendan is I can't make fun of Brendan anymore.
We revealed that Brendan was going.
I like him too much.
That Brendan was going to be our guest the next week while you were taking a pee, and we wanted to see how you would react. And you reacted just about how I expected you would.
Maybe. I feel like you should sometime. You should do a joint where you have two guests, and you can have Brendan and myself on at the same time because that could be fun.
Bill and I would just mute ourselves and then step back for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
No, Brendan and I are actually very good friends. We talk every day, almost every day.
Really?
Surprisingly enough. So, but it doesn't mean I don't like to make fun of him. Just like I fully expect and hope he comes on here and makes fun of me. Or just doesn't talk to me at all because I'm not sure why you would talk about me since I'm not on this season.
Yeah.
So
now what we had, we all picked an eliminator for week one. The survivors didn't, so that gave the survivors a little bit of an advantage because we figured we have to even it out since you're all just picking whoever's left.
We as a group we need all the advantages we can get because we are the opposite of Mensa.
There you go. Well. Vaughn picked Ron week one and then took David. So really there's no difference here. I took Julie week one, and this week I'm going to now take Silent and I'm going to take Julia. So let's keep that
going. The Silent Wood. That could be their alliance name.
That's it.
Maker. Sounds like a weird band name. I'm going to take Aubrey as my eliminator.
Wow, that's ballsy taking Aubrey. Alexa normally gets knocked out around now, so this is about right.
This is about where I peaked.
Oh. Alexa, when are you coming to LA again?
I will hopefully come again for maybe I'll come for the May finale. Just try to relive.
Could we have a patron? Could we have a patron meetup?
Yeah.
Patron meetup. Let's do it.
Wait, Phil, do you have any LA patrons? We could do a patron meetup. Let's just go to the bar.
There you go. Hey, I'd be down. I'd be so down. I don't know if we have LA patrons. LA patrons, do you all exist?
Contact us.
If you exist, you can come to Phil and I's favorite bar.
We're going to that. We're going to Oldfields. Oh shit, Bradley, I'm sorry. I just threw you under the bus. Everybody go to Oldfields.
I'm not going today.
Oh, go every day. And you'll
any given happy hour, you might run into me.
Any day ever.
We should do a meetup. Do the patrons buy drinks for us when we do a meetup?
I mean, they already
Is it
pay
good?
us. They already pay us, so I think it would only be fair if they also bought the drinks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Although if they're paying us or you guys, it seems like maybe then we have to buy the drinks.
That's unreasonable.
Bradley, didn't you say you make hundreds of dollars an hour or something like that? Bradley, I think you should be getting the drinks.
Pairs of AirPods.
Yeah.
That was a good quote. Sometimes I entertain myself. Yeah. We should do a patron meetup though, Phil.
I'd be down. I think it'd be fun.
We would invite Alexa, but we'll only let her on Skype because I hear she can't hold her alcohol. So if we'd like our patron meetup to last more than about 2 rounds of drinks, we're gonna have to bring a cot that she can just take a nap on.
You were fed misinformation.
I just like that, Alexa, the image of you having a cot now whenever we go to a bar.
Yeah. We're gonna bring her a little camping sleep pad that we can just inflate under the table and she can
Phil's couch
nap.
is tough to beat. That was a really incredibly comfy couch.
Mm-hmm. It's a good couch.
But hopefully, I'm hoping to come again in May. If we are invited back to the family, or we'll just come back.
Tickets are very cheap to fly between your house and Phil's house.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just do it for a random weekend.
It's true.
I could do that. That's a very good point.
It's a long flight. You got to pack a lot of snacks, and I recommend drinking a bit, but it's cheap.
Bradley, why don't we do next weekend then? You're around, right?
No, I'm leaving the country for a while.
What are you doing?
Just leaving the country for a while.
All right, so Bradley's leaving the country for a while. Everybody hear that?
Should be fun. Yeah, I've been running around trying to pack my stuff up. So I'm headed out on an aeroplane.
Is it like similar to when Will was leaving the country for a while?
It might be. Is Phil still in town? I still have not met Phil.
I'm Phil. Will is still in town though, yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
You've met me a couple times, dude.
Oh, no. It's a good thing today's Sunday and I'm not having to go to work and be productive because oh boy.
But yes,
well, we should get drinks with Will and Phil. We can invite Phil.
Yeah.
He seems nice enough. Yeah, no, we should. But yeah, I went to court the other day. As a side note, we can end on a side note. I went to court by myself for the first time and I won, so that was fun.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
I was really worried I was going to be looking like a fool, but I didn't. So.
And was it like a party?
No, we were dividing up some property.
All right,
fun.
I thought it'd be more fun if it was just like a parking ticket and the person just didn't want to defend themselves, just like Brad.
Saving the day.
Yeah, it might not be cost effective. It would be cheaper just to pay the parking ticket.
Very true. Especially, I don't know, man. LA parking tickets are ridiculous.
It is true. Or if you were caught in the HOV lane, those puppies are expensive.
Dude, or you get
I see the sign.
If you get towed around here and it stays in there, I think for over 10 hours, it's over $500.
That's why I drive a Prius. If they tow it, I'm just going to buy a new car.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because you have enough
No. Oh, Lord. Yeah.
But
such as it is.
Anyway, Alexa, why don't you take us home? And thank you, Bradley, for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure why you invite me back, but it's always fun.
Because everybody loves to hate it, and that's why we keep doing it.
Yeah, Bradley, you've probably been our most tenured guest. How many times were you on replacing me? Like twice?
This is
a few times. It usually runs more on track when you're here, though, Alexa.
It's I try to manage the situation.
Yeah, because then Phil and I just Although you know what your patrons or your viewers don't know is Phil has a lot of the same dry opinions of everyone that I do. He just doesn't share them on the air as willingly. So don't think he's the good guy.
We try to keep this part unbiased.
I have
the vitriol.
I have a friend who's a huge Survivor fan who every time they'll listen to the podcast and be like, who is that is talking on that podcast? And I'm just like,
wait, Christian still doesn't know who I am?
No, Christian knows you. Christian, yeah. He might not, dude, honestly. But anyway.
He starred in my Kellen video.
He was in it. He filmed it. He's the reason that we won that Emmy, right? We won like a little a daytime Emmy or something for that.
He'll probably win an Oscar later. In the commercial break.
I don't know.
Yeah, in the commercial.
Wait, we're gonna. Oh man, I didn't even dress up.
That's fine. You don't need to.
Yeah, what kind of Oscar party are you going to, Phil?
A very not exciting one. It's with a bunch of people who actually work in the industry, and I'm using air quotes for anybody who can't see it. And it's just going to be, I don't know. I'll watch it. We'll see how it goes. Oscar parties aren't that fun once you move.
Are you excited for Lady Gaga?
Of course, I'm excited. I just want to sing "Shallow." You know.
Yeah. No, I'm ready for that. Except I think I'm going to go hiking, and then I'll probably just watch that portion of it on YouTube tomorrow.
That's smart. As long as they don't air that during the commercial break, like they're going to do 96% of the stuff tonight. So
they should have had me host the Oscars. Really,
I think you would have been good.
You're in the area.
Yeah. If anyone has any good ideas, I'm thinking of starting a podcast because that's what you do when you're a millennial, especially when you're a millennial and you live in LA. I feel like I need a podcast. I also, enjoy the dry forum that a podcast would provide. So if anyone has any ideas or wants to be a co-host,
I'll take it.
Come get rich.
Podcast on our podcast.
Apparently people like companies buy podcasts now. I was reading something about this, so I feel like I need to hop on this train.
No one's bought us yet, but we're holding out hope.
But Bradley, if you want to,
maybe I should buy you guys.
Hey, whatever. We're worth quite a bit. Shocked.
From executive producer Bradley Kleihege as the Survivor Specialist prediction show.
We're worth a couple pairs of AirPods.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard you guys are doing pretty good, so maybe more.
That's not bad.
You guys are at least worth a Prius.
Thanks, man. Hey, you know what? If you want to give us a Prius for this podcast, I will take the damn Prius. I'm ready. That sounds good.
I'll keep it in mind.
Everybody's telling me to make sure that I wear sunglasses to this party, close the blinds, and everyone turns off the flashes on their camera.
This is funny. They're giving you more shit than me, Phil. This is how it should be, people. Phil deserves more.
I do.
More of the shit than I do.
I do.
Yeah, he's...
I like how that pretty much just translates to you being hungover at this party. You were sunglasses and hiding in the corner.
It's true.
Are you hungover, Phil?
I'm not. I'm just severely burnt.
Might be worse.
You look like you know, what is it? Football players wear the like black stuff right there. Yeah, it looks like you put like red ink on or something.
That's it, man. It's right there.
You should apply sunscreen there because maybe you have like high cheekbones and the sun hits your.
I do.
Up here more.
Thin eyelid, the thick eyelid.
I feel like this is the point where Alexa needs to come back and take this away. And,
wait, somebody just
send this puppy off into the night.
Somebody said you should do a podcast about single life.
I would totally.
That seems like a burn.
Oh no!
It's knock on all three of us, but I would very much enjoy that.
Maybe Kellen and I should do a podcast together about single life. That could be entertaining.
That'd be pretty fun.
I'm into this. I love this idea. I'm texting Kellen right now and telling her that. It'd be entertaining. She has some good stories.
I would love to hear this. And now I'm going to wrap this the hell up.
There we go.
Are we comfortable with that?
This is probably a smart idea.
So we are going to be back this Wednesday at 9:07 p.m. Eastern because Phil and I need to gossip about the episode and like mess up YouTube before we actually go live. And then, as we mentioned, Brendan is going to be our episode 3 predictions guest, but we'll get to that later. In the meantime,
I'm so excited for Brendan to come on. I might not even watch.
He might air his own podcast at the exact same time that we have Brendan on.
We're excited for Brendan. I'm going to say that, Bradley. I cannot wait to have Brendan on.
Close it out.
Brendan's one of my favorites.
Wait. I have to, with some late breaking news. Nintendoshi has a pretty good comment in the chat when he says, "Oh no, Bradley has AirPods in, he can't hear the blind side coming." That's pretty good. You're funny. You should be on TV. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Continue.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have 4,400 subscribers on YouTube. Just keep hitting subscribe. Keep giving us 5 stars on iTunes. We will be back this Wednesday. Bradley, as always, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.